All right, so CJ's got his holes punched here. We're ready to drill. Now there is a plastic gas tank back here, and I know sometimes they recommend pulling the tank, but for whatever reason, we just want to make sure that we protect as he drills through to not go all the way through and pierce the tank. So one thing that I found is the actual little template that we use can be pushed up in here behind where he's drilling. So we'll use that as a block. There's a couple ways to handle this. One would be to put a collar on the drill bit so the drill bit can't go in too far. The other is to put a block between where you don't want to drill, so when it pierces through, it'll hit this metal before it hits anything else, which is what we're going to do for the one drill bit. And then will you toss me the uni bit? And then the third is for the big hole, the 7/16" hole. We're using a uni bit or a multi-bit or whatever you want to call this thing. It's got a 7/16 right here. And the cool thing about this is it's not long enough to even reach the tank when he hits 7/16. So as long as he doesn't get all crazy and drill a 7/8" hole, we should be good to go there. So did a little practice run with him to make sure he understands how to do this, and now he's going to drill all 4 of these holes himself, and I'll help by holding the backing plate to make sure we don't go through on that little pilot drill. You see metal shavings coming out? Yeah, there you go. That was perfect. Pull the trigger, keep going. Stop. Look at that, he's got the tire carrier on. Hey there everyone, CPO here, and CJ has finally got this rear bumper installed on the TJ, although it wasn't without a little bit of challenge, right CJ? So we had a couple things that we had to deal with. Number one, unfortunately it came with different size hardware. The bolts that they sent us to mount the bumper to the frame, we didn't end up with the right size in the box, so I had to go get some of those. And then the factory bolts that we brought out were so rusted, and the threads on the frame side were so rusted, we ended up having to do some thread repair along with that. But once that got out of the way, it wasn't too bad at all. You can see we did add the tire carrier, which is in place now. CJ got to figure out how tight to make this without making it too tight. We made it a little bit stiff, but not overly so, and we haven't yet greased this fitting yet. But the fact that it comes with a greasable fitting is a nice bonus. We've got this little deal here to secure the tire carrier, and everything is nice. We haven't actually adjusted this yet for the tire because we're going to change rims here soon, and figured just to wait until we get the new rims before we finish that adjustment. Now there was one other thing that we needed to do that we haven't done yet, and that is CJ had to drill some holes in the frame right about maybe in this area here on both sides. and that is to further reinforce this bumper. It's got 3 bolts on each side, just like the stock one, but it's got these additional bolts that go in here, and that's because we have a tow receiver here, and we also have these D-ring shackle tabs here, which can be used for recovery. So point being is there's extra reinforcement we need to do. The problem is we can't really get in there without pulling that tank down, and quite frankly we just haven't had time to do it. So that's going to be on the to-do list. The bumper's completely secure, no problem running it like this, but before we do any heavy recovery or towing, we definitely want to probably add those reinforcing bolts on there. So that'll be one of the things that we take care of next when it's more convenient to drop that tank. We could drill without dropping, but actually getting your hands up and a tool up there to tighten those bolts was going to be a non-do. So anyway, any final thoughts, CJ? Nope, it's all good. How you like it?
Looks cool. Makes the Jeep flow.
Cool. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We're going to start the lift kit next, so we'll catch you on the next one.